whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Anthony Joshua beat Jake Paul, man. Something that a lot of people was waiting to happen. It kind of happened too late for some, including myself, man. Like, it's like he ain't as popping and doing like a lot of crazy stuff. And this what's funny is I actually like him better than his brother now. But anyway, man, the fight was hilarious. It was a lot of running around. It was a real boxer versus a YouTuber, basically, man. That's what we got. We got a boxer versus a YouTuber, like just a regular white guy who became a YouTuber and a guy who's dedicated his life, to this craft. I believe Anthony Joshua is an Olympian. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, he still felt like he wasn't as sharp as he needed to be out there. I believe he knocked him out in the sixth round, I want to say. But he was dropping him through the whole bout when he could catch him. You know, it was entertaining. I watched it at work. With the boys, with the guys at work. We all watched it, had some laughs, man, and just sat there, on our break and just, like I said, just laughed at it. But that's about it. I really wanted to talk about black men and masculinity that black men have that a lot of people are afraid of, man. I'm seeing like a lot of Asians finally come out and saying or feeling like, the black man's plight was actually something to be justified about, whereas everybody else looked at it as like, why are y'all crying about everything? Is blah 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 blah. But then they're starting to see, and they're starting to, well, how smart they are. They're just now finding out and understanding what white supremacy is. You know what I'm saying? It's not all white people aren't bad, which is what, they walk through life. Of course not. But you see how it's structured for certain white people. Like I said, like I lived in the ghetto with my best friend, was white. I lived in the ghetto where all white guys did was date black girls. So it's like definitely classism, but we're going to talk about how the elites tricked everybody to hate black people. Black people stand at the exact opposite of everything they stand for. I don't know if anybody watches, anime, but One Piece is something I'm gonna get into to explain that, in another episode. It's just, the clan of D is hated by the government, and that's what black people are. You stand the exact opposite of everything that they're trying to keep in control of. Look at women. For women, what do a lot of, weak white men. I saying that all white men are weak, but we're talking about frail, those, in the upper echelon, the ones who have the class, ones that come from Britain. You know what I mean? Those white, what do they have to have? Money, status, and height. We just stop there. Money, status, height. When you a black man, dog, and they've tricked most other races to think that's what they need. But when you're a black man on the opposite side of, white, black is the opposite of white, what we say. He's going to be a smart ass on here. He's like, actually, it's not a color, something like that. But, that's what the opposite, black is white. That's why the colors look good when they go together. They're opposing colors that match. But with black men, you don't need to be any of that. That's something that still they don't really truly understand. How do you be short? Don't have our beauty standards, don't have any money, you know what I'm saying, and still pull beautiful women and beautiful women of other races. It's like y'all got the cheat code. How do y'all do that? And one of the reasons that they look into is our masculinity. You had was it Jesse Owens that won in track in the Olympics, and the man with the funny mustache walked out. It's like he just was angry because it's like the black man and his masculinity is devil, is evil to us. We got to destroy that, because you could be next to a man of a different race, but if you're a black man, they look at you as that boxer, as an Anthony Joshua, as a Jesse Owens, as a Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan made wearing a bald head look cool. Like if you any other race and you bald, you gonna get talked about. It's like, oh, he bald, short and fat or something like that. But it's like when you black, if you go bald, like those kind of like some of our livest coldest people, was blackballed people, man. You know what I'm saying? But it like black masculinity is just a threat to everything that they built up. It's like, how come what's a flaw to us is not to them? Especially it's like you got low education. I come from the ghetto, low, terrible, like not educated at all, but still can pull a lawyer from Greece or something, like some lady who origins are from Greece, smart as a whip. A kid from Detroit City could still pull her. A black person. It's like that is to be feared. That is to be hated. We want y'all to hate that. Like don't like that. You know what I'm saying? That's black masculinity. Like when you look at interracial. You know what I mean? When you look at the interracial, the cuck. What is it? It's a white guy sitting in the chair, and it's a big black bug piping the shit out of some white woman. You know what I mean? That's their imagination. That's what they're terrified. I've never in my life asked a girl, you ever that I wasn't like trying to have something with. You ever been with a white guy? But you know what they do? You ever been with a black guy? Because I don't want you if that disgusting gorilla stuck his 12 inches and just contaminated you. That's what that is. Tell me I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I'm going to just keep saying, because you got to say it in this generation. Of course, I'm not talking about all white men feel this way. A certain class, a certain kind. You know what I mean? Like I said, I believe Asian men, especially right now, waking up to it. It's a few out there that's still trying to stay on the side of white supremacy. A couple cowards, you know what I mean? But it's a lot of Asians coming out and seeing the light. You know what I'm saying? I wish everybody would, especially the Mexicans. That's who we live closest to, because they're in the ghetto just like us. But I wish they'd wake up to it. But it's like I said, man, it's just that we don't. And God we trust is in money. It's on paper, the paper dollar. That's what the elite's God is. It's money. So if you don't, even with the women, so if you don't have it, you don't have God. And they leave you. Black people, man, our God is the one in heaven, the one above, the creator. So even when we don't have money, we still walking with God. You understand what I'm saying? We still feel godly. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Why we wash our hands before and after we use the bathroom. I see people from other races just leave out that boy all the time, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Without washing their hands, like cleanliness is next to godliness, man. That's who we walking with, man. Every black person I know, you didn't have to go to church at some point in your life, man. You had to have God in your life, some capacity. That's who we are, man. We are people of God. I'm like, money ain't gonna buy you happiness. That's why, like, when you see like a rapper or somebody in entertainment, they blow their money. It's like, dang, man, they blew it because they really don't care about it. I don't know why nobody's talked about this. We don't teach our kids money. People are smart, man. People are intelligent. Subconsciously, people do things that just don't make sense to other people. Like Al Pacino did a movie, I think it was called One for the Money, with Matthew McConaughey. And he told Matthew McConaughey, people don't come to the casino to win, man. They come to lose. They want that rush of losing. Because people are smart and know, like, the odds are stacked against them, but they get a rush from losing. And that's kind of how black people kind of act with money, man. Like, they become an NFL player and make a lot of money. They like being that warrior. You got some, of course, is there for the almighty dollar. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. But Mike Tyson, he was crying on his podcast, man. He said, I miss being a gladiator. Crying. One of the strongest people I've ever seen in my life, man. It's just not growing me out. Crying, talking about he was like the god of war. People used to fear me. Like, that's what we crave, man. So a young streamer that I watched, Blackboy Max, like, he was saying he had hoop dreams. Like, we want to compete. Like, Blackboy Max used to try to be a hooper for real. Like, he wanted to go pro. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to compete. Black people want to be physical peak. And as part of the white elites, what they kind of pushed on us, we kind of like lean into it. It's like we want to be the greatest at our physical peak ever, whatever it is doing, whether we're a running back, a point guard at basketball, whatever, man. Like any physical activity is like we like Goku, man. You want to become the strongest. You want to take it to the next level. And so the origins of what this video I'm even making about is black masculinity is evil. Like that's how they look at it. Like that's how they tricked y'all. Everybody elites made everybody think, from the Arabs to the Asians to the Mexicans to whoever, man. They made y'all think black masculinity was evil because that's what they're afraid of the most, man. That's what the elites are afraid of the most, is black masculinity. And not saying any of this ties into the Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul fight. I just want to bring that up. You know what I'm saying? Just bring that fight. It was a little fun, entertaining fight, but it just got me to thinking, like, black men are truly hated. I was glad to see that young man, not even just win that fight because it was Jake Paul. Like, just see him out there smiling and shining. Anytime I see a black man, I believe he's from the UK, but still a black man, like, it's good to see you win. Because really, the world don't want that, man. If it would have been like another cool white guy than like Jacob, it would have been crazy. I mean, it was crazy enough because people just don't like that guy. But black masculinity, man, is celebrated by my boys, like the Sicilians. I have a couple Sicilian friends I know. It's celebrated by a couple Mexicans. Celebrated by, a couple Irish friends, Polish. My best friend is Polish. It's some white people that were downtrodden and beat down just almost as much as we were. You know what I mean? Like, they were abandoned by their own, like the Irish. Like, I get along with a lot of Irish people over here. Like, it might be different in Boston. I don't know how racist they get there. But Polish, too. Like, we have a big Polish community where I'm from. And I get along with them just fine. It's those mixed German wannabe elites, the neo-Nazis, Aryan Brotherhood, man. I think, like, it's because they're trying to find their masculinity, man. Like, it's funny, the YouTuber that I really like watching always say, they make fun of that because we was kings. Like, it's like, and the white people got the same thing. We was Vikings. Like, that's their masculinity. Anyway, man, I just want to ramble about that, man. They are afraid of your masculinity, dog. Like, even the Asians at one point, when they was, prejudice against black people, racist stuff on that white man said, is that your masculinity is terrifying. They look at me, they think, oh, we all do the same crime. Like, it's nuts. It's like, we're all the same. We all do the same stuff. Anyway, man, that's it. I'm out. Don't be a nigga.